Would you like the goal, the stakes, and the why up front? Or the trailer? Trailer? I understand. I would too. Here you go.
The truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this organization.
Did you come to Earth for evil purposes? Have you ever enslaved a population? Have you given doll bodies a bad name? Tell us the whereabouts of codename Ed.
Bait her ass!
Fear became the ultimate tool of Scientology.
You make me sick! You think I'm playing? My franchise!
The internet should not be afraid of Scientology. Scientology should be afraid of the internet.
Got a little confused? That's exactly how I felt at the beginning of all of this. But worry not, I'll clear some things up. Do you ever get the feeling that you should be doing something else with your life? What you just saw was the result of me spending over 2,000 hours making this 1-hour 4chan vs Scientology documentary. And it is the second dumbest thing I've done in my entire life. And here's that story. So what was the point? Make the best, most entertaining video on this platform that will stand the passage of time. And 2, get 1 million views so I can continue making more of these. Let's talk stakes. 1. Scientology coming after me. You know, the same people that made Tom Cruise jump on Oprah's couch will be coming from my couch next. 2. A slow descent into madness. Picture me, sleep deprived, surrounded by editing glitches, arguing with my imaginary girlfriend, whether or not a meme is funny or stupid. Spoiler, it's both. And 3. 2,000 hours of my life. That's 83 days of non-stop work, by the way. If this fails, it's not just a video that flops. It's months of my life disappearing into the void. And the worst part, I'll have to face the question that I dread most. Am I gonna end up being just another cog in a machine, pumping out the same 7 videos a week? Or am I gonna be able to escape the Matrix? Stay tuned to find out after today's sponsor. No, I'm joking. Don't leave. I'll start the video now. So, was it worth it? Well, to answer this, let's do a little bit of lore breakdown and start at hour 0. Okay, why 4chan vs Scientology? Well, because this old man refuses to upload, and I got tired of waiting for that one good YouTube video per year. And 2. Because this is one of internet's most insane, defining stories. It has bomb threats, chemical warfare, spies, assassins, cults, money laundering machine, pets being killed, ice cream truck filled with God knows what. What else do you need for a good story, huh? And I do like a good story, but here's the catch. One of these two are not like the others. They don't just dislike videos like these. They crush people who make them. They hack, harass, send fake bomb threats in your name, frame you for anything and everything, you name it. And no, I'm not talking about these guys. I'm talking about these guys. If you say Scientology 3 times fast enough in front of a mirror, Tom Cruise ziplines behind you, steals your fingerprints, and frames you for murder. You think I'm joking? They've done it in the past. But I'm just a humble YouTuber, right? They wouldn't bother with me. Wrong. YouTubers are their dessert. Once they're done going after the big corporations, they come for the little guy. And if that doesn't work, they go after YouTube itself. Think I'm joking there too? They've done it a dozen times in the past. They have billions of dollars and only 2 ways of using it. Property and going after people. So I walked away. Not worth stepping on the wrong shoes. I should have just stuck to making funny jokes about the video games, I thought. Guess it wasn't meant to be. So I spent a month working on something safer and more funny. Barbie video. No risks, no cult, no billion-dollar war chest aimed at my head. After finishing the Barbie video, I'll go to see Mission Impossible in the cinema. And I swear, as Tom Cruise rips off his mask, the only thing I can think of is, you know, wouldn't it be funny if every Tom Cruise from the Mission Impossible movies was the villain in that story? Yes, it would. Does it mean that we're gonna make that video? That's exactly what it means. So I run out of the theater and rush to my computer. After finishing the movie, of course, because it was a great movie. But the moment I start typing, I realize there are a couple of critical things I need to figure out first. So, there were one or two things I needed to figure out. 1. What kind of story is this? This is make or break for any video. 2. What is the tone and style? If I put Doom music over this, it ruins the entire experience and falls kind of flat, doesn't it? No matter how well researched and written it is. And 3. How do I make sure nobody gets doxxed and harassed? Because people's lives are at stake.
The next thing I know, I had a bunch of naked guys on my profile.
And 4. How do I make sure to cover the most important person's ass? Mine, because strange things seems to happen to people who criticize Scientology. And 5. How do I make sure I don't burn out and get stuck in the abyss like the last time? This is where a little bit of doubt creeps in. Because every choice here has ripple effects. One wrong move and this whole thing could fall apart. While I'm trying to figure all of this out, my brain goes in the dumbest direction. Which Tom Cruise should be the villain? What if Tom sees this? And does me making this video mean that we won't be friends in the future?
You make me sick!
100 hours go by and I sit there spiraling in 1,000 different directions. So after stumbling and falling flat on my face repeatedly, somebody tells me that the answer to all of my questions are awaiting me atop of a mystical mountain. Awaiting me? That sentence doesn't even make sense. Waiting me. Answers are waiting. I don't know who wrote this, but I need to fire that guy immediately. Hey Nancy, call a hitman. Yeah, I'll wait. Okay, let's move on, okay? So naturally I climb this mountain, waiting to find some wise oracle. Instead, I found a 65-year-old man named Harold, who weirdly enough knows too much about internet lore. Confused, I ask, how does a 65-year-old man know so much about internet history? He turns slowly and says, I'm actually 25 years old. This is what being chronically online does to a man. It makes perfect sense to me. I'm actually 13 years old. So I tell him I got a story revolving a spy, a man in a mask, and a bunch of trolls. From the beginning, I wake up screaming about the story, idiot. What story? This story. What kind of story is this? Is this David versus Goliath, a hero's journey, satirical war story? Or is it digital warfare? Digital guerrilla warfare. Then, the tone? What tone? Do I go with dark and serious, satiric or comedic, dramatic or cinematic? Satire, humor, historical investigation. What else? How should it look? Resident Evil 4 meets V for Vendetta. Make it feel like end of 2000s. Use game music from that era. Doxing risk? Put a mask on everybody. Make the villain Tom Cruise from different movies. Covering my ass? Same answer. Mask on everybody. Tom Cruise for all the Scientology parts. That way nobody knows who's who. Burnout? Write one section, edit one section. Keeps it interesting. The plan is now clear. Imagine spending over 2,000 hours making one video, pouring every ounce of your soul, creativity, and sanity into a single project, knowing it could all vanish instantly. Not by some sinister villain, not even by Scientology itself, but by something far more scarier: the YouTube algorithm. A dark abyss swallowing content. The algorithm doesn't care about your effort, creativity, or your passion. It cares about one thing only: keeping the viewers watching. If they click away too soon, the algorithm moves on. No second chances. You see, in the cruel world of YouTube, your first 2 minutes aren't just important, they're everything. Every one of my past videos have bombed, fading away like they never existed. So to get this one right, the pressure was on. So here's the dilemma. I need to introduce the main characters, which is Tom Cruise and A for Anonymous. I have to set the stage, starting with this leaked Tom Cruise video and this post on 4chan. Plus, I need to hint of all the things that will come later in the video. I have to make it as entertaining as possible and factual, because this is a documentary. On top of that, I have 5 other things that I also have to get right in order to give this video a fighting chance. I have exactly 2 minutes to grab the viewer by the collar and not let go. If they manage to escape, YouTube buries me in algorithm hell forever. And given my track record, I can't really afford another miss. So it's now or never. So after spinning in circles for a couple of days, here's what I figure out. Watching Harold's Area 51 video plus all of the Tom Cruise parodies gave me somewhat of an idea how to do the intro. I thought, who is he really talking to in this video? Himself. And for Anonymous, inspired by V for Vendetta, I crafted their introduction around the famous speech, but now every line starts with the letter A. 100 hours later, I had an intro that would grab the viewers and please the algorithm. And for the first time in weeks, it actually made me feel a flicker of relief. Now, let's hope when I click upload, it will be enough. Before I send these guys storming the gates, we need to talk about what I was up against. Okay, so I knew I had to explain Scientology, but I did not know trying to explain it would nearly derail my entire documentary and my sanity. The first part of Scientology, about how it started, is pretty straightforward. The real headache kicks in when you get to their more creative lore. Let's just put it like that, like the Xenu story. Now, since I pride myself on balanced storytelling, I didn't want to go for cheap shots here, because everybody's trying to find meaning and belong in life and all of that stuff, you know. So when Scientology hits you with their Xenu story, it's not gonna sound as absurd at first, is it? It's gonna be more like Dark Souls and Halo Prologue. So I gave it Dark Souls meets Halo Prologue. Big music, volcanoes, galactic betrayal. Cinema, you know, all. So yeah, but once you've paid through the nose, sometimes up to $300,000 and 15 years of your life, and you wake up from that financial nightmare, and then you read it, it's gonna sound a bit goofy. South Park goofy. So this is where things start to go downhill. This entire bit that I created is over 8 minutes long, which means this is no longer a 4chan versus Scientology video. It's more of a Looney Tunes meets Halo and some Tom Cruise floating in space some kind of video. With the 8-minute detour, the video loses focus and my internal panic button is flashing red. So I panic. Now, I spent over 100 hours making this bit, and pulling out the axe is so disheartening because you get so attached to these things. Even though in the grand scale of things, it doesn't matter, the time you've invested, it blurs your vision. So, what do? I remind myself about the goal, which is to make the best documentary, not the longest discretion into space opera. And I start chopping and chopping. And when I'm done chopping, you know what I realize? I am left with nothing but a 90-second South Park Xenu bit. Why is this a problem? Well, because now I'm straight up ripping people off territory. Now, I don't mind ripping people off a little bit here, a little bit there. That's just called a basic research. But ripping off too much at one spot, that's where I'm gonna get spanked. On top of that, do you know what I realize? Do you know who owns South Park? Paramount. Do you know who owns Paramount? Mr. Top Gun himself. Then I get hit with this effect. But because I know the telltale signs of me getting frustrated, discouraged, and burned out are just around the corner, I did what any seasoned procrastinator would. I told myself, I'll come back and fix it when I'm done with the other parts. You wanna know a secret? I won't come back to fix it later. I live in dread, waiting for Tom Cruise to zipline behind me. Tell me, do you know what the definition of a bomb is? A container filled with explosive or incendiary material designed to explode on impact or when detonated by a timing, proximity, or a remote control device. Now, me saying it right there automatically raised about 200 red flags from YouTube systems. Why is this important? Well, the way my video is set up is structured like a movie, meaning the things that I set up in the beginning loops back at the end, and the entire video hinges on the word bomb. So, to start off with, I didn't know about any of this, meaning I didn't know about any of the YouTube systems. So my initial attempt was straightforward. Introduce the Assclown Offensive by quoting the infamous 4chan post threatening to blow up 7 NFL stadiums. On October 22nd, 2006, 7 dirty bombs will detonate. Thousands will die. Al-Qaeda will be blamed. Bin Laden will call it America's Hiroshima. In the aftermath, civil war and global chaos will follow. Red flag. Buried. So I tried rewriting it as dirty balloons. Lagged again. Feeling desperate, I tried turning it into a parody. Something obviously funny and exaggerated. Flagged again. Buried. Frustrated, I realized YouTube didn't only have an issue with the words themselves, but also the context itself. Mentioning the bomb threat was a ticking time bomb. Pun fully intended. So I sit here, frustrated, staring at this angrily. Totally out of ideas, I climb back up the mountain. Harold, get in here. Navigate tricky toppings with gaming metaphors and analogies. Alright, so that's when it clicked. Call of Duty! I scroll through down the mountain back to my computer, and I turn every mention of the bomb threats into Call of Duty metaphors. 100,000 people will die. No. General Shepard will kill 100,000 people in Call of Duty Modern Warfare campaign. And I went down the list. And lo and behold, finally it worked. And just like that, a 10-hour section turned into 100 hours. What a magic trick, huh? Worth it? Another week gone, another inch closer to that burnout cliff. And the content machine is warming up my seat. It is pretty easy to go insane here because I'm constantly having to juggle this video with my day job and my personal life. And when I can't figure out things fast enough, I get this pit bull look in my face. Working harder, but angrier. This is where things start to slip. I began snapping at people over the little things. Someone asks me if I slept okay. Someone asks me if my weekend was okay. Get off my back! Let me breathe! Somewhere between the outbursts and the deadline, I also realized I almost missed seeing Dune Part 2, something I've been looking forward to for months, because I was stuck rewriting bomb jokes about a video where Tom Cruise fights internet trolls. And as I finally tried to unwind, feet up, popcorn in hand, Dune credits roll in, the thought crept in. What if I'm wrong? What if after all of this, the video fails? Deep down, I'm just hoping this entire convoluted magic trick will be worth it when the curtains finally drop. Tell me, when was the last time you caught a virus?
Does anyone else feel like the air in here is kind of chunky? How do I take my white cell?
Nah, not that one. The more dangerous kind. The computer kind. For me, it was in 2004 when I tried downloading Pirates of the Caribbean on LimeWire. Let's just say I got a different kind of pirates. Now, fast forward 20 years. Now, I need a free camera mod for Dark Souls 3 in order to create this 4chan launches Attack on Scientology bit. But thanks to cheaters and hackers, mods like these are disabled, forcing me into the internet's shadiest back alleys. First, I download a cheat table. My computer instantly screams, "Virus!" They assure me it's just a false alarm. I try to use it, but I get stuck in a wall. Can't escape no matter what. So I try again with Nexus mods. Another alert, another dead end. Now I'm getting a little desperate. So I watch a YouTube video which redirects me to an ancient website on Wayback Machine. Here I download some XF file and some injectors. Now you see where this is going, right? The moment I click on that XF file, my computer goes ballistic. Wee 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 wee.
What the?
Panicked, I delete everything. I shut it down, sprinkle some holy water on it, and perform a minor exorcism. And I pray I didn't just download malware. Eventually, after reading a Reddit thread, I realized I could have just used in-game binoculars to get my shots. But even today, I know there's something lurking on my computer, because from time to time, it acts suspiciously, and I don't know what's causing it. So now I am pissed and exhausted. Nothing I set out to do goes the way I intended, and it's really starting to get to me at this point. Not because the tasks themselves are that difficult to solve, but because of time itself. I am limited with my time. You know, that unblinked counter that's always ticking down, always escaping, slowly pushing me towards that cog in the machine future that I dreaded. It felt like every minute lost chasing these ghosts were time that I could have spent doing something more fun. Friends, family, activities, and from sanity itself. At the beginning of this 4chan launches Attack on Scientology bit. At first, creating it is pretty straightforward, just another creative task. It's manageable, distant, and I feel optimistic. I have a clear vision and no worries yet. Then I hit my first wall. I just need a free camera mod from Dark Souls 3. Seems easy, right? But solving one problem creates 3 more. Each new sound, shot, effect pulls me deeper. Every tiny detail seems monumental. I'm no longer detached, I'm obsessed. This is where tunnel vision and exhaustion sets in. By the time I'm animating the Tom Cruise retaliate scene, I can't see straight. The setting, the lighting, the pacing, it all has to be perfect. I get that pitbull look on my face, and the rest of the world disappears. The resolution and clarity kicks in. Finally, it's done. But instead of feeling pride, I feel regret. I made it way too complicated. I could have just reused clips or shown articles. Anything simpler. Anger sets in at myself for wasting so much time and energy. This isn't just editing anymore. It's psychological warfare. Every new task feels daunting. Every new challenge threatens to send me spiraling down again. I'm not just fighting software or editing problems. I'm fighting time, anxiety, and my own obsessive nature. Each victory is temporary, and the fear of spiraling again becomes overwhelming. I realize the biggest problem here isn't the technical side of things. It's myself. So why am I telling you all of this? Because on that section right there, everything started to fall apart. And fast. Remember when I said I research one section, then edit one section, and then move on? Yeah, well, after spiraling like that, when I return to research and writing, I've forgotten everything. I have no idea where I left off, what I was planning next, or what I was trying to say. It's like getting dropped back into your own timeline with no memory. It costs hours, days just to reorientate. Time I do not have. So this constant mental reset, recovery from that editing whiplash becomes exhausting and demoralizing. Just sitting here, trapped in a haze, frustrated, knowing that the cycle will likely begin all over again. Because I've only reached halfway point at this point, 20 minutes, the easy part of the video. So I had 4 of the biggest sections left to go, and these next 3, they weren't just challenging, they felt like ticking time bombs, all set off to go at once. The first bomb was Scientology's secret police, Guardian's office. How do you tackle real-world espionage, genuine human suffering, and absurd cult paranoia without it sounding too preachy, boring, or disrespectful? It was a tonal nightmare to get it right. The second bomb was the first 2 rules. This one hit differently. Seeing the comments, the flyers, the planning, people getting involved. These weren't just trolls, these were people finding meaning and taking a stand. Suddenly, the pressure was on to get this part right, to do their story justice. Became immense. The third bomb was cult friction. The global protest starts. Masked, loud, and angry. This wasn't just memes anymore. It was about free speech, censorship, and fighting a billion-dollar cult in real life. Bomb threats, chemical warfare attacks, terrorists, snipers on hill, lawsuits, spies, monkeys, you name it. Also Harold. The ripple effect here terrified me. One small mistake could destroy 2,000 hours of painstaking effort. I was paralyzed. So after coming back from research whiplash in this case, these sections felt less like editing and more like drowning. The more versions I edited, the worse it got. Every version left me more frustrated, creatively drained, and stuck in a loop of constant second-guessing, self-doubt, and tone anxiety. Currently, I'm juggling absurd comedy, political drama, and real-world stakes, and none of it matches. I wanted it to feel epic, but not preachy, funny, but not disrespectful, serious, but not over-dramatic. I felt completely stuck, no idea how to move forward. Until finally, it all became too much. So I shut it down, closed the project, just walked away. You know, it's not easy climbing all the way up here just for a 60-second bit. Initially, I was gonna shoot it that way, but the wind is cold as hell and I did not prepare too well for this, which could be the title of this entire video right here. Here we go. Yeah, Harold isn't here. I think the mob came for him. Something about a cave. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do the motivation / inspiration talk. If you don't mind, of course. Standing here, do you know what I realized? I'd stopped enjoying this project completely. Each morning had become a struggle. Dreading the endless loop of stress, exhaustion, and constant second guessing. What started off as a fun video about some internet history had turned into a constant source of anxiety. Every funny bit I make is immediately overshadowed by the next bit I need to make and the next thing I need to get done. And it never seems to be enough, and it never seems to end. It's incredibly frustrating and demoralizing. It's like I'm running as fast as I can, but the finish line keeps moving further away. I kept thinking, once I get those views, it will all be worth it. But then it hit me. None of that really matters. The real reason I started this was simply the joy of making a funny video, telling this goofy, chaotic story, and having fun while doing it. As long as I put maximum effort into it, the outcome isn't really that important. Alright, can I go back now? Can I go back to my room now? Okay, so here's what I did, because I got too tired of juggling and running around in every direction all day, every day. I quit my day job. Might as well go all in on this video. No more distractions. It was April and I had to catch the May release window. After that, summer hits and YouTube turns into a ghost town. And by fall, the competition ramps up. And the chance of my video getting buried becomes high. Which is exactly what happened last time. Plus, I did not know if I would be doing this by then. Because of this, and that. All of the things that I'm dreading. All of these things that I need to get done. Also, I have the burnout, madness, and the looming abyss. And it's all sneaking up quickly behind me. So I need to get it done as fast as possible. So the countdown began. So, I needed a picture of a cat. Should be easy, right? The internet is after all made out of cats. But not this one. I needed a picture of a cat laying down, back turned to me, straight on, low angle, just sleeping peacefully. Green screen cats, blue screen cats, stock image back turned cats, movie star cats. Wrong angle, that one moving too much, that one creeps me out. This one is a movie star, which means I have to pay him a big bag of sardinas, which are pretty expensive in this economy. An hour later, I'm losing my mind. This is the shot, I need it, and I can't find it. So I give up. I head downstairs to grab a snack. And that's when I saw it. The freeloader himself, tucked away, back turned, sleeping like he pays rent. And that's when I pull out my phone and I whisper to myself, time to earn your keep, and I snap a bunch of pictures. Okay, so I had 2 sections left. So it was February 10th, 2008. At an early Project Chanology protest in LA, a masked figure appeared, calling himself Rorschach. Let's just say Scientology took immediate notice and feared what he might uncover. At the protest, for just a few seconds, Rorschach removed his face, and Guardian's office took every picture they could. So in the days leading up to the next protest, Rorschach and some of his friends went scouting. On their way home, they got tailed by some shadowy figures in cars. A few days later, he was doxxed and received threats from the Impossible Mission Force. But true to form, he showed up at the protest anyway. Scientology had tipped off the police, accusing him of making violent threats. He was arrested immediately. But fellow Anons rallied behind him, lawyered up, and fought back. The charges didn't stick, and Rorschach walked free. Exhausted, he returned home. Something felt off. Drops of blood. He followed. Then a pool of blood. Next to it, that's when he saw it. In retaliation/intimidation, Scientology had killed his cat, Mudkips. Something that affected him deeply. They have done it many times in the past and many times after. 2,000 hours had passed at that point. The Rorschach bit alone had completely drained me. I looked at the calendar. Panic hit. I ran out of time. That's when anxiety, fear, despair caught up. At that exact moment, I had quit my job for this, gambled my finances, strained relationships, and sacrificed every ounce of balance in my life. And at that moment, a wave of hopelessness hit me with a question mark attached to it. What if today is the day I found out that all of this was for nothing? Failure and giving up wouldn't just be embarrassing. It would confirm my deepest fear. That every risk I took, every last hour of sleep, had all been wasted. So what do? I tell myself, failure is completely fine. Giving up, however, is not an option. Okay, so I sit there wondering, how on earth am I gonna finish this? Because after they kill his cat, I can't just cut to black, roll credits. I need the climax, a finale of sort. My initial thought, B walks into that tunnel.
Finally came out of your goon cave, huh?
And everybody he meets are Tom Cruises. Big CGI fight. But would take hundreds of hours to pull off. And it was already May 20th. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Then I think to myself, Do you know who else had a beloved pet killed, who then went on a vengeful rampage that killed 439 people? Will Smith in I Am Legend? Yeah, no. Also John Wick. Desperate, I climbed back up the mountain. But it looks like Harold abandoned me for good. And just when all hope seems lost, Eli shows up instead. Hey champ, need a hand? My other boyfriend left me. Something something Gordon something something? Tick tock tick tock? You fill in the rest, okay? Hey Eli, can I use your John Wick in Resident Evil 4 please? Sure thing buddy, sure thing. That's when I saw the sunshine and it all clicked into place. This entire video came full circle. I started a cult in Resident Evil 4 and finished exactly there. Eli really did save my ass here, and I'll be forever grateful. Oh yeah, that cat story was supposed to be down here. And yes, I had to go through all of that just for that one shot. And yes, that is my cat. You know how the rest goes. Finally, over 2,000 hours later, 7th of June 2025. I pause for a second before I click upload. Every late night edit, every breakdown, every moment I doubted myself, all flashed before my eyes as my finger hovered over the mouse. Was this really it? 2,000 hours, Scientology potentially hunting me down, and my sanity hanging by a thread. It all comes down to this one click. Screw it, click. Now it's time to sit back and watch the views roll in, right? A day goes by, nothing. A week goes by, nothing. A month goes by, nothing. I check back on it, refreshing the page every 5 seconds. Like a kid on Christmas, waiting for the magic to happen. But Santa never comes. The video bombs. It gets 50 views in the first month and flatlines after that. It was like watching a 2,000-hour dream sinking in real time. I get sad, confused, embarrassed, all at the same time. And that's when it hit me. I'd spent 2,000 hours on this only to set myself up for disappointment since day one. I've been so obsessed with making the perfect video that I lost sight of everything. I got trapped in a dream, chasing something impossible, and now I was paying the price for it. The cycle always repeats itself. Last time, it caught me off guard. This time, I watched the ship sink from the deck with popcorn in hand. Still hurts though. Still not good business. But at least now, it has a sequel. So, what went wrong this time? Well, it's like my dad always says, life is like a box of chocolates. Yes, Forrest Gump is my dad, okay? No, he says it's all about timing. Luck of the algorithm. You name it. All of these things, they were okay. They were fine. Okay, they were good, okay? They were okay, they were also good. Remember when I said it was the second dumbest thing I've done? From a strategic point of view, it is pretty stupid. Because I don't have any audience to push it to. But dumb isn't maybe the right word. Insane, definitely. Exhausting, absolutely. But not when I walked away with a mountain of new skills. And it all editing, storytelling, animation, not to mention the sheer endurance and poise stat leveled up to max. Plus, I look at the bright side of it. No lawsuits, no mysterious vans parked outside my house. And I don't have to worry about my cat. But I did really want to meet Tom Cruise. Even if he framed me for murder, I think we still would have been good friends. Which brings us back to where the epiphany happened. Yeah. No, it's not a new day, okay? It's the same day. I'm just doing these back to back because I can't be bothered coming back up here again until it gets warmer. Because okay, I'm gonna do this fast so I can get out of here, okay? Okay, so which brings us, I already said that epiphany happened. Blah blah blah. Okay, so here we go. It's not about the views. Turns out it was something about journey, something about long, anxiety-ridden destination full of dead ends. Something like that. If you're chasing a crazy dream, know this. Even if it doesn't work out as you planned, you'll learn a hell of a lot of things you did not expect. About yourself, resilience, and what actually matters in life. And so on, so forth. You know, all that stuff. I gotta get out of here fast. I think I had one more sentence. About learning yourself, resilience, yeah. So did I escape the Matrix? How about any YouTube fame? Still working on both. How about those 7 videos a week? I said I'm working on it, okay? Oh yeah, it's just another YouTube video about making another YouTube video. It's not that serious. And yeah, okay. So, now, which one of these signposts say never do it again? I'm joking. I'm looking for the one that leads to another bigger mountain. Adios!